you Dr. Bhat?
Yep, I'm Dr. Bhat.
Hi, I'm Nick.
What's up, Nick?
I'm 6 years old and I haven't been really feeling well lately. Like my left ear, can't really hear out of it, and I've just been really stressed lately.
Really? That sounds like a pretty bad case of diabetes to me.
What do you mean diabetes? What is that?
Diabetes is when there's excess glucose in your bloodstream, which means that your cells can't get enough glucose and they can't make energy. And if left untreated, diabetes can cause gangrene and even death in severe cases. And we have to get you tested out for this, so we need you to take a glucose tolerance test and an insulin test.
So what is the glucose tolerance test and why should I care about it?
The glucose tolerance test checks how much glucose is in your bloodstream and after certain periods of time. And if it stays around 100 milligrams a deciliter, it's normal since your glucose isn't rising that much. But if it goes to 200 milligrams per deciliter and stays there, that probably means that you're pre-diabetic or have diabetes.
Okay, so I have to drink a glass of sugar or something like that?
Yep, you have to drink a concentrated glucose solution, and then we'll measure your blood every 30 minutes for 2 hours to see what your insulin glucose levels are. So
okay.
Maybe take this blood glucose concentration test or something. I don't even know what it was.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. He said I might have diabetes or something
Diabetes?
Yeah.
Brady Kunz. Hey, Brady. I'm Dr. Bhat. Dr. Bhat. Did you have something you wanted to talk to me about?
Well, I just haven't been feeling well lately. I've been not being able to see as good as I used to. Fainted a couple times, so my wife said I should probably come in.
That sounds pretty bad. It sounds like a case of diabetes to me. I'll have you tested out for that. So, Brady, what are your eating habits?
Oh, well, I usually eat a lot of fast food because I don't have time to make my own meals.
Okay.
I like to go out for ice cream with my family. Sometimes I do skip meals, and a lot of times after I skip meals I don't feel that good. But I don't see why any of that would have an effect on what I've been feeling lately. I mean, you're a doctor, you should know that stuff.
Well, from the looks of it, it seems that you have diabetes and maybe hypoglycemia, and your diet has a huge impact on it because the unhealthier you eat, it's worse for you. We have to get you tested out for that.
I feel like that really wouldn't help at all since I'm not feeling diabetic.
I mean, if you want, it's just a precaution. It's even, you probably might not have it, but in the off chance that you do, it's going to be good for you.
Let's just get this over. I don't even want to do this.
Okay. So, Brady, I'll need you to drink some glucose. I also need to get your blood tested right now to see how your insulin and glucose levels. And yeah, we're done. Just come in 30 minutes.
What was that about?
You just gave me the same test as you just had.
Do you think the results will be positive?
I don't really know. I've never really understood diabetes or insulin or how any of that stuff works.
Yeah, and my mommy told me about it one time, and she said that usually when younger people get it, it's because their pancreas doesn't work, and that they need to get insulin shots so that their body can burn the glucose.
So I kind of get what you're trying to say. The insulin just opens the cell to let the glucose in, so then the cell can get energy and you can burn it off.
Yeah, my mommy also told me that your body gets mad and it wants to return to the normal state that it was in before, and it gets sad that it's not how it usually is.
Isn't that called homeostasis?
I think it's homeostasis.
Oh yeah, I think I learned about that back in the day. Isn't that when your brain sends messages to the systems in your body to regulate stuff? So
Yeah. So that would mean that my body doesn't have the insulin to regulate what it usually was, and that would mean I would have type 1, right?
that must mean I might have type 2 because the feedback loop that doesn't work for me is I know I can produce insulin, but it just must not be working.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because this.
Hey Nick, your results are back.
Oh, good.
So I hate to break it to you, Nick, but it appears that you have type 1 diabetes.
What? So I can't eat Skittles and donuts every day?
No, Skittles and donuts aren't good for your diet, so you have to eat healthier food.
So can I get rid of it?
No, you can't get rid of diabetes, but if you have like a good diet, you won't feel many effects of it. And to have a good diet, you need to include many macromolecules, which are lipids, nucleic acids, proteins, and carbohydrates. You just have to be careful around the carbohydrates, though.
So I can't eat donuts?
No, can't eat donuts. Well, you can eat donuts a little bit, but like only once a month or so.
Okay. So how do I get the macromolecules I need?
Well, like I said before, the macromolecules that you need are proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, and carbohydrates. And eating healthy food is a nice way to do this. So, for example, a nice diet you would have that includes all this would be like Cheerios, whole wheat bread, fruits and vegetables.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yep, that's all, but there's one last thing. As you can see here, Nick, your insulin levels are still about the same amount, even though you just drained glucose. So that means that you need insulin shots whenever you eat a meal.
Alright, thank you, Dr. Bhat.
Yep, thank you. Just remember that type 1 diabetes shouldn't be taken lightly. Hey, baby, your results are back.
Alright.
So, I hate to break it to you, baby, but it appears that you have type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, no, not me.
You have the symptoms of a diabetic as well as the glucose level of a diabetic. You clearly have diabetes. In my mind, your extremely high level of glucose also might be considered hypoglycemic, which is the opposite of hypoglycemic, which is when you don't have enough sugar in your blood.
Yes, I do have diabetes.
Hey man, it's gonna get better, don't worry about it. All you need to do is just change your diet a little bit so that there's not like a lot of glucose, and just monitor your blood sugar every so often. But if you keep living the way that you're currently living, it's gonna be pretty bad for you, so.
Well, why doesn't my body monitor my blood sugar?
Actually, your body does monitor your blood sugar. For non-diabetics, when glucose is consumed by your body, insulin is produced by your pancreas, and this promotes the glucose to go into your cells and burns it to make energy. But some of it is also stored in the liver as glycogen. So when you have low blood sugar, glucagon is released by your pancreas, and this causes the glycogen to be released in the glucose, which goes into your bloodstream and makes you have a normal blood sugar level again.
And my body doesn't do this?
No. As you can see here, Brady, your insulin is clearly working as it's intended to. It's just that your cells don't accept the insulin, which means that you have type 2 diabetes, and this is why the feedback loop doesn't work for you.
Alright, well, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Just don't mess around with diabetes.
Alright, sounds good. Patient 1, after receiving the diagnosis of type 1 diabetes, decided that diabetes was something serious and was not to be dealt with lightly. He sets up an appointment with a certified diabetes educator to create a plan going forward on what to do with his diet.
Hey, can I speak to a certified diabetes investigator? Okay. Oh, hi. Okay, I need to make an appointment because I was just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Okay.
The diabetes educator tells him that he should buy an insulin pump that will release insulin into his bloodstream to let the glucose into his cells.
Okay, so an insulin pump. Okay, okay.
The diabetes educator also informs him that he should be eating a balanced diet and getting enough exercise.
Alright, I'll write that down. I'm gonna start exercising a lot more because it's crucial to my health.
Patient 1 also starts paying much closer attention to the food he's eating by always checking out the labels before eating it to make sure that he's getting an adequate amount of all macromolecules in his daily diet.
Okay, let me grab a... Okay, so I just should be looking at food labels before I eat them. Okay. Patient 2, after getting his diagnosis, opted to not change the way he had been living. He thought that diabetes was not serious enough to be worth his time. He now only has 8 toes, the other 2 amputated due to gangrene. As he looks back now, he wishes that he would only have chosen to make a change in his diet before it was
All
too
the good
late.
choices that patient 1 decided to make to attempt to change his diet He still has to deal with the constant monitoring of his blood sugar levels, the inability to eat sugar constantly, and also he now must inject himself with insulin after each meal. When he doesn't do some of those things, he constantly feels stress. Diabetes will do that to a person.
After ignoring his disease, patient 2's short-term effects such as numbness and fainting led to more severe complications such as amputation of the toes and loss of vision in his left eye. He now spends his time constantly Woltering over food labels and nutritional value charts just to make sure he doesn't get any worse than he already is.